2020 Yamaha MT-03 Review. Yamaha welcomes a new member to the MT family in 2020 with the introduction of the MT-03. Having already covered the midsize through litter class naked sport bike categories with the MT-07, MT-09, and MT-10 models, the 2020 Yamaha MT-03 brings the torquey yet high-revving masters of torque personality to novice riders. The small displacement segment of the market is becoming busier, and that's good news for expanding the motorcycling population, as well as providing more choices for riders looking for physically smaller bikes. We traveled to Austin to check out the MT-03 in its busy urban center, as well as the hill country outside of the live music capital of the world. One based on the YZF-R3's proven engine and chassis, the 2020 Yamaha MT-03 has been tweaked ergonomically and stylistically. With the fairing stripped off and the headlight redesigned for a piercing minimalist face, the MT-03 slots right into the MT template. Instead of the clip-ons found on the R3, the MT-03 has a traditional handlebar that sits 1.5 inches higher, and 3/4 inches closer to the rider. This slightly more upright riding stance immediately affects my attitude when I settle into the seat. I'm ready for a fun sprint through the city instead of an aggressive race into the canyons. 2. The physically small and light bike provides a welcoming package for new riders. Nothing spells comfort to a new rider like being able to touch terra firma with both feet flat, and the 30.7-inch seat height of the MT-03 brings this to a wide swath of riders. My 30.5-inch inseam left me room to spare on the MT-03, and when you add in the 373-pound curb weight, the MT-03 feels almost toy-like. So much so, in fact, that when we were caught in Austin's truly awful commuting traffic bad enough to turn off the engine while waiting through a couple cycles of traffic signals, it was easy enough to keep the MT-03 in neutral and simply paddle the bike forward a few feet with little effort. 3. Compared to the R3, the MT-03 fuel tank is broader at the top and specifically tailored, creating a slim, perfectly seated in riding position. Easy to grip with my knees, I felt at one with the slender bike as I was not so much steering the machine as simply moving with it. Though it requires relatively little input to change direction, there is nothing nervous about its handling. 4. Linear torque from the bottom to the top keeps things friendly for novice riders without boring veterans. The over-square 321 cubic centimeters DOHC parallel twin delivers smooth, manageable power. An inexperienced hand is unlikely to get in trouble from grabbing a handful of throttle. Clicking up through the gears and twisting your right hand hard will tap into the MT-03's power, and you can have a blast from 7K on up to the 12,500 RPM redline. A counterbalancer keeps vibration under control, even at 5-digit rev counts. 5. Dual front disc brakes aren't necessary with a 373-pound bike aimed at novice riders, so the MT-03 has one. The single 298mm rotor and 2-piston Akebano caliper keep speeds in check with a perfectly dialed front lever. The linear power at your right hand rewards a hard squeeze, delivering the confidence to ride with enthusiasm. At the same time, keeping in mind the expected audience for the MT-03, there's nothing snatchy about the front brake. The rear pedal has usable real-world power for finessing lower speeds. ABS can be triggered if you work it, though it is non-intrusive in practice. 6. The MT-03 has an inverted 37mm KYB fork, giving the entry-level bike a big bike look, as well as a sturdy front end. Whether traversing under-maintained city streets or diving into corners in the canyons, a robust front end inspires confidence.